Hi guys, my name is Little Giant. Welcome back to another episode of Baking with Giant. Today we're going to be trying to recreate the perfectly preserved pie from Fallout 4. If you haven't already, go ahead and check the link in the description. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays over on Facebook. First up, boom, is our Grahm Cracker crust. Starting off with 1.5 cup of Grahm crackers, or approximately 10 sheets. Either way works fine. Throw it all in a blender and give it a good blitz until everything is nice and crumbly. To spice up our graham cracker crust, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, throw it in, give it a good mix. And set aside, we're going to melt a stick of butter or 7 tablespoons of butter over medium heat to add to our crust. While our butter is melting, we're going to go ahead and set up our pan. You need a 9-inch cake pan and 2 pieces of parchment paper. First off, we're going to measure around the cake pan and cut that out. That way we can have our base for the bottom. Taking our second parchment, we're going to fold it in half, cut it straight down the middle. That way we can get 2 long rectangles. Stealing from our melted butter, we're going to grease our pan pretty heavily. That way nothing sticks to the sides. Adding our parchment into the pan, we're going to make sort of a X or a plus with our long pieces. And then add in our circular piece last. The reason we're putting the long pieces is that way we can get the cheesecake out of the pan. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to finish our crust. You're going to mix the butter and the graham cracker together until you get sort of wet sand texture. Sort of like this. You're almost there. There we go. You want to be able to squeeze it in your hand and it stays together. Dump that all into your 9-inch cake pan. You're gonna press evenly down on the graham cracker crust, spreading it to the edges all the way around. You want to press down as hard as you can, that way no cheesecake will seep through. We're gonna bake this guy at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes or until golden brown. Now time to make our glorious cheesecake. You're going to be needing 1 pound of cream cheese and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. Mixing that together on a medium speed until there are no lumps. I took out my cream cheese and let it sit on the counter for about 5 to 10 minutes to make this process a little bit easier. 1/2 cup of sour cream, 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch is to keep our cheesecake a little bit stable. Mix until that's fully combined. Now I switched to a whisk attachment at the end here just to remove any extra lumps. Add that into your 9-inch cake pan and bake at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, checking your cheesecake every 10 minutes until it is fully stable. Now starting our sauce topping, we're going to take 1 pound of strawberries, cut off the little leafy ends, and place them all in a medium sauce pot. Add in 3/4 cups of sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Let that simmer over medium heat. Off to the side, we're going to use a meat cup to make a slurry. The slurry will be added to our sauce in order to get it to thicken up. It's going to be consisting of 2 tablespoons of cornstarch versus 3 tablespoons of water. Mix it all together with your whisk and set it aside. Once your strawberries have released a lot of juice and are nice and soft, we're going to be taking about 2 tablespoons of the juice into our slurry cup and mix it together. Add your cooked strawberries to a blender, blend it up, and then add it back into our pot, including our slurry. Now we're going to cook this over low-medium heat while stirring constantly until the desired thickness that we want. Taking a medium storing container, I put a sifter over the top of it and added my sauce in there. The reason I'm doing this is because my sauce was a little bit too thick and I just wanted to thin it out a little bit. If you'd like it to be more chunky, by all means, please keep it that way. This does need to sit overnight in the fridge. Along with our cheesecake, that also does need to sit in the fridge overnight, so this is a perfect time to relax, take a nap on the counter, and wait for the next day. And good morning! I am taking about 1/4 cup of whipped cream, gonna whip that up to my desired thickness or to stiff peaks, adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Now stiff peaks should look like this, nice, solid, ready to go. Don't forget to feed your friendly puppers some whipped cream because they have been good during this whole recording process, so they deserve a treat. I unpanned my cheesecake and placed it onto a black plate in order for it to be portioned. Now I started off with a cross to give me 4 slices and cutting them in between in order to give me 8 slices. Now, because we are going the extra mile for the show, let's plate it up. We have a nice white plate here. I'm going to be starting with a star piping tip placed into a parchment bag. Now, there's 2 ways to fill up a parchment bag. You can press it over your hand, making it stable, or you can use a cup like so. Flip over the sides, press it down, and fill it up that way. To me, the cup is a lot easier because it leaves my hands free. Alright, to start piping, we're going to go in a circular motion while pulling up and releasing pressure. So circle around, pull up, release pressure, and there you go. A nice swirl. Gently spoon on your sauce while pushing it to the outer edges with the spoon. Now we want this to stay nice and even on top while letting it overflow on the sides to give it a nice effect. Add in some collectibles for effect, and there you go. Fallout 4's perfectly preserved pie. Yes, Caleb. Oh, I didn't mean to throw that. Get off! Thank you so much for those shares, guys. I don't know what we're gonna do if we reach 100 shares. Like, holy crap.